Welcome back to MFL, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. BassMaster has revamped the EQs, and they've given the information out in a press release. To be honest, I think there's some things that I like from what I'm seeing, but it has raised, for me, it's raised a lot more questions than it's answered. Stick around, we'll talk about those questions and talk about what they did tell us when we come back. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher. So, BassMaster put out their press release that they have revamped the EQs, and it's very similar to what we told you it was going to be when we gave you that prediction a while back. There are 2 divisions now for the Opens. Each division will have 4 tournaments. If you fish those 4 tournaments in that division and you come in the top 50, you are going to be eligible to advance to the EQs. So fish in one division, make a top 50. If you want, you can go fish to get into the Elite Series. You could fish both divisions, and that way you've got 2 different chances to make the top 50 and get into the EQs. Once you do that, once you make the top 50, the EQs are 3 tournaments that they say are going to mirror the Elite rules, the Elite Series rules, and you're going to fish those 3 tournaments in the fall, and then the top 10 out of all 3 of those will make the Elites the following year. Now, here's the part that I like the fact that they've made it a little easier to get to that by saying, hey, you top 50, you get your chance to fish in the EQs. I also like the fact that they are allowing any elite angler to just automatically get into that EQ series. So if somebody didn't qualify next year, they can jump into those 3 tournaments called the EQs, and if they make a top 10, they get to re-qualify to get into the elites. That's nice. They are allowing any elite angler, though, to get in, which means that an elite angler could jump in just because they wanted, because it was on a lake that they were familiar with, whatever. They can jump in to jackpot that tournament. They can jump in to potentially win it, and if they win it, there's an automatic berth to the Classic. That's an interesting thing right there, because if they get an automatic berth to the Classic, what happens is that just allowed another Elite Series angler who didn't make the Classic to get in, because they'll take that berth from the EQ, and so if he had previously qualified, it'll open up another spot. There's a lot of complicated parts in this, and that's kind of what I was getting at in terms of raising a lot of questions. Here's some of the questions that it raised for me. Number 1, we don't know any of the lakes yet in terms of where any of these 2 initial divisions are going to be on, or where the EQs are going to be. The next question is, they talked about the fact that the EQs are going to mirror the BassMaster Elite rules. Now, does that mean no co-anglers? Does that mean one forward-facing sonar transducer, not a bunch of them? Does that mean no information? Because, again, we don't know where the lakes are right now. So when they put that out, are they saying no one can get any information, limited practice days? Because those are rules that in the Opens have one set of rules, but the Elites have a different set of rules. So these are a lot of questions that it's kind of bringing to my mind. And given the fact that Bass came out with some information right away saying, hey, here's the schedule, you have until January, and then all of a sudden they had to backtrack it, I hope that the people at Bass are thinking of these questions also now, as opposed to having to backtrack when some of these questions actually come up. So I'm curious as to your thoughts about what you think about the new EQ format, whether you like it, don't like it, pluses, minuses, and if you can think of any other questions that this raises, jot those down in the comment section. I'd appreciate that. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in, and please hit the subscribe button, the like button, send us your comments. We will see you tomorrow for another episode. Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.